Circles are awesome. In fact, they're so awesome that people, for a long time, until just a few hundred years ago, assumed that the stars and planets all moved in circles because circles are perfect. The starry heavens are perfect, therefore everything moves in circles. And that'd be cool if it were true, but it's not. But it's, sometimes close to true. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off the point. Circles. Circles are amazing. They're so simple, yet so cool. So let's go over it, but there's a lot of vocabulary involved in circles. So let's just go over what all these things mean, okay? First of all, what is a circle? The circle is the set of all points that are equidistant from a center point. So here's the center. Say like we have a circle with a radius of 10 centimeters. The circle would consist in all the points, and there's an infinite number of them, that would be exactly 10 centimeters away from the radius. All right, so that's what a circle is. And I actually had this question last night to myself. What is the smallest circle that is theoretically possible? Right? I mean, what's the smallest distance away that would count? I don't know. That kind of boggles my mind. Anyway, circles. Okay, so I already just used a word without defining it, and that's radius. The radius of a circle is a line segment whose two endpoints are on the center of the circle and a point on the circle itself. So here's a radius. Endpoint on the circle itself. I should probably actually make this transparent. That might be less confusing. Whoa, not that transparent. Let's do that. Okay. The part I had filled in would actually be called the disk of the circle. It's not the circle itself. The circle itself is all those points that are a certain distance away. Alright, disk. That's a disk. So here's a radius. Endpoint on the circle, endpoint in the center. Right? And there's an infinite number of radii, but there's only a circle only has one value for the length of a radius. So a circle will have a radius of 10 centimeters or 100 miles or whatever. So that's the radius. We covered center, covered what the circle is itself. A diameter is a line segment which passes through the center and whose two endpoints are on the circle. So endpoint, endpoint passing through the center. All right. And you'll notice that a diameter is actually twice the radius. So a radius plus a radius straight across equals diameter. A secant is a line that intersects a circle at 2 points. So here's a secant, this green thing. It's intersecting in 2 points. And a chord is a line segment whose two endpoints are on the circle. So the secant is a line, so it's infinitely long, right? A line segment would be called a chord. So endpoint to endpoint, that's a chord. Or endpoint to endpoint, that's a chord. A tangent line is a line which touches a circle at just one point, which is called the point of tangency. Right. So here's a tangent line. It's just touching the circle at one point on the circle. Like when someone goes off on a tangent, it's when the conversation is here, and they touch the conversation and they just go off into La La Land. Okay, that's going off in a tangent. Center. Circumference of a circle is the distance all the way around, and pi is the ratio of the circle's circumference to its diameter, and that ratio is the same for all circles, which has blown people's minds for thousands of years. The ratio, we can round it to 3.14, but actually that decimal goes on forever. And one guy memorized something like 60,000 decimals of pi and recited them all from heart, by heart, from memory, by heart. Anyway, okay, so that's basic vocabulary having to do with circles. Should be pretty fluent in circles now, so I hope you enjoy working with circles. All right.